Hi, I am Lee BRIONES-MEILY. Join me as I take a look back here on Flick Flashback. My journey as a cinematographer started when I was a small girl. Looking back at my age now, I also wanted to know how it all started. And when I was a little girl, my mom would always say that I'm very quiet and I just like to read books and walk around. And I remember I would always, just hang out in the balcony, watch sunsets, sunrise, the stars, the moons. I'm really not someone who I'm very, very quiet. I think that the love for reading and observing things was when it all started. And then growing up, I wanted to be a doctor. And of course, coming from our province, my mom wanted me to follow her steps as a dentist. So I followed, but I wasn't quite sure. Now, when I was enrolled as a pre-dentistry student, that's when I saw the film of Kidlat Tahimik, Perfume Nightmares. After watching that, I decided that I want to become a filmmaker, or I wanted to make films. So I boarded the bus and went home and told my mom and my parents, my mom and dad, na I will study to become a filmmaker. She didn't like it. She didn't like it at all. But like what she said, I'm very stubborn. So I pursued it. I enrolled in LaSalle and took up communication arts. That's where I fell in love with photography, and then cinematography also as part of the curriculum. Transitioning from different genres is like, I see it as each project is different. So parang every time there's a project, I really transition. Every project is something new. Why? Because for me, you meet new people. You have a new director, new producers, new talents, a new set of crew. The only constant element is my team, my immediate team, my gaffer, my assistant cameraman, and my key grip. But other than that, yun, palagi siyang bago. So it's like transitioning all the time. Sana Pag-ibig na is a film for first timers. It was the first time of Direct Jeffrey. It was my first time. First time din ng, I think, our editor. Our assistant director. So cinematographically, it is considered a pito-pito at that time. The budget is very, very low. But the script is beautiful. So it gave me an opportunity coming from advertising. So my training is basically advertising when it comes to cinematography. It was a shift for me because I have very little equipment. Cinematographically, I had to work with what I was given. That was for Regal Films. And I remember it was memorable that I had to pay for my own 5K light. Kasi I felt that I needed one more light dun sa binigay nila sa akin. And because I'm a first-timer, I don't really have a choice. That's the reality. But I also discovered that there are many things that you can do. Like, that's where I started building my own, using my own lamp. So, using house bulbs and Japanese lanterns, I asked my gaffer to set it up as additional lights, soft additional lights for all of us. And I think that really worked. Money should not be a limitation, but an opportunity, if you have a low budget, an opportunity to do something, to exceed, and to break away from the things na nakasanayan ko. Tanging Yaman is my second movie, and it is a commercial movie because it was produced by Star Cinema, which is one of the biggest, if not one of the bigger, or if not the biggest production houses. I got very good support from them. There was a lot of good collaboration. But what struck me was the process. There was so much respect that Direct Loris encouraged me and asked me and led me into sitting with casting, in watching workshops, in dealing with the actors prior to the shoot. So that really helped me prepare to get to know the characters. And then from there, I remember assigning colors. colors and motifs to each of the actor. Kasi nga, to me, this is a chance to interpret what love is from their point of view, from each of the families in Tanging Yaman. And cinematographically, it's not easy because love is abstract. I mean, how do you show something visually? How do you translate love visually? That was the challenge. That was the opportunity. And I'm very, very grateful to be able to, to express myself in a way on how I've seen the script and the characters. I will never forget when I had to ask Tita Glo to look into a very strong light. And I had to tell her na she has to fake it, that through the camera lens, it has to come out as if she is actually looking at the light. Pero dadayain lang namin. And after that take, I know medyo nahirapan siya, but she never complained. So, to me, that was the epitome of kindness on a set, of collaboration, of doing your craft and giving your best. I will be shooting Sharon Cuneta on a film. That is very special. Sharon, Miss Hilda, and Angel Aquino. So parang wow, ang ganda nung cast. And again, since it's an independent, the budget is not very big. But we were, we prepared very well, that very, very clear, from the director to the production designer who I work closely with. Production designers and cinematographers, they're like a couple on a set. Kasi laging kayo yung in charge of the image in front of the camera. So the interpretation is not only mine, but also the production designers, based on the treatment of the director. Kaya, when we did Crying Ladies, diba, we wanted to de-Sharonize Sharon. We wanted to show something different, that sana, hopefully, people will forget na she is Sharon Cuneta, she is Hilda Coronel, or Angel Aquino, but they are the characters they are playing. They are real people. What was most memorable for me was one shot when my director agreed to do a back shot instead of a front shot. Diba? I mean, when you watch films, most of the time, the actors are facing the cameras. And Direct Mark was brave enough to agree that this particular scene, okay lang that we take it from the back, that we don't see their faces all the time. So to me, it's kind of a breakthrough na, okay, hindi kayo nakaharap sa camera kasi hindi kailangan. When we shot that particular scene, I think that was between Sharon and Ricky Davao, there were many things hidden or not clear based on their characters. And to me, visually, it would be nice also that they don't face the camera kasi the characters are hiding something. They are not being honest with each other. I think that's something psychological that I was hoping makakatulong siya in interpreting that particular scene. By this time, gamay na namin yung isa't isa, diba? And it's my second film with Angelica. As a DOP, I have high respect for people, for actors who are not just talented, but they do their job. They prepare for it well. It's a love story, and there are two lives that she has to navigate into. So the challenge for me was to make it feel and look different sana. Pagka kasama niya yung one guy and then kasama niya the other guy. What was memorable to me was I Love You Goodbye was shot at different, medyo mahaba. The timing was quite long. We had to stop for a while and then go back. And then on the last scene, on our last shooting day, I had to bring a crane to the beach, a long crane sa beach to shoot a love scene, a kissing scene. And that was quite hard kasi there was no pathway in San Juan, Batangas. My boys, I think, had a hard time bringing down the crane. And to me, it's a concern kasi, diba, it's not only logistics, but I was hoping at the time na the shot would be worth it to bring down a crane, all the effort of everybody to shoot a scene. And I remember, dire-diretso kami nagsushoot at inom na ako ng tubig. from the waves while shooting the scene. So hindi lang yung actors ang nakainom ng water, but me and my assistant cameraman nakasubmerged din kami sa water to shoot that. This is a movie that's so much fun to do. Sobra. Mamamatay lang kami sa kakatawa. 'Di ba? The script was very good, direction was very good, the actors are fantastic. This film is improvisation. Like you break some rules when actors talk to the camera. Joel Torre would talk to the camera and Miss Eugene would talk to the camera. So in a way, nagbe-break kami ng rules. But at the same time, meron din kaming breakthrough behind the camera kasi we are collaborating to be able to make cinematic daya. For my upcoming projects, I'm doing one in post-production now with this is a film for T-Rex Productions. It's my second film with them and my second film with direct Jules Alfonso. And then I'm slated to do two more films with Viva Films, with two friend directors as well, Denise O'Hara and Rial Florido. So they are both love stories, I think. First, you have to find yourself. You have to find your voice. Okay, if you want to become a cinematographer, consider yourself a filmmaker first, And the first step, when I look back into my life, my first advice would be to find yourself, to find your voice and what stories you want to tell. Okay? Next, be responsible. Whatever you put out there does not only have your name, but it carries a part of you. So I encourage everybody, especially the young filmmakers, to be responsible. Third, please prepare well. Prepare very, very well. After you know what you want to say, you know yourself very well, that's when you find your style. That's when you find your voice. You have to put craft into it. You have to prepare. You have to study your cameras. You have to study the lights, the location, the other stuff that's needed to hone your craft. So please be diligent and do it. Discipline is very important. Please don't be trigger happy. Be sure of what you want to say. Even if technology allows us to do that, do not waste anything. Do not waste anything. Your talent, your voice, and your time when you are making films. Another one is to read. Read a lot. Not just watching films, but you have to read. You have to let your imagination flow, because these are the things that will benefit you more. Look inside yourself. Find your own interpretation. Find your own using your style. That way you will be able to effectively help your director and the project, the film project, and the story you're going to tell. And lastly, don't take yourself too seriously. People will make mistakes. You will make mistakes and you will learn from it. And whether you win awards or not, it is you who will say if you did a good job. Not the jurors, not the one who will judge your films, but you yourself. So present to the world something that truly came from your place of truth, from the way you want to tell the story. Give us a part of you. Give yourself to the audience by telling stories that come from your heart. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Flick Flashback. Don't forget to subscribe to Sinepanghalina's YouTube channel and check them out on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.